School, uh, Sachin, we have school educators from all across India joining in. They've signed up for a theme which we all know is unstoppable force, right?
Yeah.
So, and education is something that you, me, all of us are very sensitive. It's something that we all care about. That's how we have grown up in society. And there is variety of stuff which is there, some sort of a dilemma debate. Is AI good? Is AI right for kids? What all can it do? So if you understand it better, I leave the floor open. If you want, I can put some question, but why don't you do a quick opening on how do you see the AI world evolving in the space of education?
Sure. Thanks a lot, Shivesh. So for the broader audience here, I actually have been doing AI for almost 25 years now, and for all the time I have been with IBM Research. And I've seen, while I have not changed the field, right? 25 years is a long time in today's time. You hardly see people sticking with the same company for even 10, 15 years. So while I have not changed the field itself has changed so drastically that the kind of things that we used to do in 2000 and 2010, 15, 2000, I will say till 2012, everything changed so drastically after 2012-13 timeframe. And this new AI, that this generative AI is enormously more powerful. And with November 2022, everybody is familiar with it since that's the time when ChatGPT came. And it has changed the course of the way we work in a very, very significant manner. In fact, it is not new, like it has happened in past, right? When in early 1998 Google came as a search engine, things changed very, very drastically. The kind of search capabilities that we had at that time, I don't know how many of people here had any experience with Alta Vista and Yahoo search engines. And then when you saw the transformation with Google search engine, it was a very, very powerful thing at that time. So what we are witnessing right now is actually a lot more significant than that time actually. But again, still we have seen in history moments like that where we are confronted with a technology which is extremely powerful, and we actually do not have a very good sense of how it's going to change the way we do things, right? So today I know that, I actually don't know. In fact, it will be something that I would like to know, but I can guess that, students, it's so easy. You give them any assignment, they will just do it without really knowing anything, and you will have those. So I don't know how much it is happening. It probably would be happening quite a lot. I know that with my friends who are in academia, they definitely worry about it. I In our own development, right? So when we are developing AI, so I and my team are actually involved with building large language models like GPT ourselves for enterprises. So that's what we do, and what we see that the enormous amount of coding is actually being done using AI. And like in colleges, whoever are now being taught computer science and engineering, like I don't know whether and how effectively they are actually learning any coding, because any kind of assignments you give to them, they will just do it and you have no idea who did it. And similar thing I would think would exist even in school today. So it's a huge thing, it's a huge challenge. But again, I think we need to see this just like a technique, just as a tool, right? So there are good uses of AI, there are bad uses of AI, just like any other technology. But I think there is a lot of rethinking that needs to be done. I don't know whether there is any systematic way of doing it happening, but definitely there is a recalibration of how we learn has to happen. What kind of assignments we are giving to our
School Uh, Sachin, we have school educators from all across India joining in. They've signed up for a theme which we all know is unstoppable force, right?
Yeah.
So, and education is something that you, me, all of us are very sensitive. It's something that we all care about. That's how we have grown up in society. And there is variety of stuff which is there, some sort of a dilemma debate. Is AI good? Is AI right for kids? What all can it do? So if you understand it better, I leave the open. If you want, I can put some question, but why don't you do a quick opening on how do you see the AI world evolving in the space of education?
Sure. Thanks a lot, Shivesh. So for the broader audience here, I actually have been doing AI for almost 25 years now, and for all the time I have been with IBM Research. And I've seen, while I have not changed the field, right? 25 years is a long time in today's time. You hardly see people sticking with the same company for even 10, 15 years. So while I have not changed the field itself has changed so drastically that the kind of things that we used to do in 2000 and 2010, 15, 2000, I will say till 2012, everything changed so drastically after 2012, 13 timeframe. And this new AI, this generative AI is enormously more powerful. And with November 2022, everybody is familiar with it since that's the time when ChatGPT came. And it has changed the course of the way we work in a very, very significant manner. In fact, it is not new, like it has happened in past, right? When in early 1998, Google came as a search engine, things changed very, very drastically. The kind of search capabilities that we had at that time, I don't know how many of people here had any experience with Alta Vista and Yahoo search engines, and then when you saw the transformation with Google search engine, it was a very, very powerful thing at that time. So what we are witnessing right now is actually a lot more significant than that time actually. But again, still we have seen in history moments like that where we are confronted with a technology which is extremely powerful, and we actually do not have a very good sense of how it's going to change the way we do things, right? So today I know that I actually don't know. In fact, it will be something that I would like to know, but I can guess that students, it's so easy. You give them any assignment, they will just do it without really knowing anything, and you will have those. So I don't know how much it is happening. It probably would be happening quite a lot. I know that with my friends who are in academia, they definitely worry about it. In our own development, right? So when we are developing AI, so I and my team are actually involved with building large language models like GPT ourselves for enterprises. So that's what we do, and what we see that the enormous amount of coding is actually being done using AI. And like in colleges, whoever are now being taught computer science and engineering, like I don't know whether and how effectively they are actually learning any coding, because any kind of assignments you give to them, they will just do it and you have no idea who did it. And similar thing I would think would exist even in school today. So it's a huge thing, it's a huge challenge. But again, I think we need to see this just like a technique, just as a tool, right? So there are good uses of AI, there are bad uses of AI, just like any other technology. But I think there is a lot of rethinking that needs to be done. I don't know whether there is any systematic way of doing it happening, but definitely there is a recalibration of how we learn has to happen. What kind of assignments we are giving to our students, what are acceptable uses of AI, and how do we make whatever assignments we are giving them as AI proof, right? I think all those things need to be somehow rethought of, and I think that's a very, very important challenge that we need to address. But there is no denying that the AI could be an enormous teaching resource, right? In fact, I myself learned so much by using and interacting with AI now, and it is because it's like having access to the best teacher at the tips, right? And it will exactly fill the gap that you have. Like, you know a lot of stuff, and but there is something very specific that you don't know. It is so easy to get that and learn that using something like ChatGPT or Claude, that it is actually amazing. It teaches you really well. So now we need to see how best to use this tool, right? How best to use this AI as a part of our learning that needs to be thought of. I will be very eager to learn about the kind of challenges that people today are already seeing in schools. Right? Of course, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of good things that happen with AI. There is no doubt about it. Of course, it kind of makes things available in multiple languages. If people have students have challenges with languages, those languages are kind of gaps are those gaps are bridged. Availability of great teachers is bridged. Availability of something being available in a very simplistic manner, right? Like you want to represent a very, very complex concept like quantum computing in a very simplistic manner. It's all very easy to do now with this whole AI tools that we have at our hand. So there are enormous amount of opportunities, but at the same time there are enormous amount of challenges that exist. But I would like to also draw attention on these kind of challenges that have existed in past in history, right? Like when the printing press came, right, were invented. At that time, there was a lot of problems that were perceived that people will never memorize anything, right? Like the printed books are available to everybody all the time. So because of that, like people will really not memorize anything because before printing press, everybody was just memorizing everything, right? Like because that's the only way you would have access to the knowledge, and there was no other way. So so they will stop memorizing, and knowledge will be just too easy to access, right? So it will lose the rigor that is there. Right? And now we have very similar kind of fears. But, similar thing happened with when Google came, and now we have very similar things now also. Sorry, Shivesh, you were saying you were asking anything?
Yeah, Sachin, great. It's a great opening. You come from a very unique field, right? Someone who works in the sphere of technology, trying to build these GPTs, work on LLMs. Now, in your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and for your industry, because your experience can also, we can draw parallels from your experience to educator's experience.
Mm-hmm.
How is the world at IBM research changing just because AI has come?
So um, it is changing at a very rapid pace in at least I would say two or three different dimensions.
Right.
One is the way software gets created is changing tremendously, and it
Mm.
is changing at all different companies, not just IBM. Um, it is not that you can just ask a AI, create a system like blah, right, and it will create that for you, and that will work fine. It won't happen that way, but the productivity has increased by 5 to 10 times for each developer.
Wow.
Well, so how good you can improve your productivity depends entirely on you. So the AI is as good as the person who is using it. So if there is a very phenomenal developer, his productivity will increase easily 8 to 10 times. But if a person who is using or trying to develop a code by using AI, but is very weak in himself in his own development abilities, would not have that much of a productivity improvement. He won't. So, so what I see in IBM research, in IBM at large, and in all the companies, that the core development has, at least, it's very easy to now estimate that I would say close to 30-40% of all the code that gets generated all over the world in all the companies is getting generated by AI. That is humongous. That is humongous. And so
30%
that's,
are generated by AI.
yeah.
And Sachin, if you don't mind, I just come in because I think the last example was phenomenal.
Mhm.
And before this session, I was thinking, what is AI?
Mhm.
And the answer that I'm getting in my hunch from your experience is AI, the intelligence or the IQ of AI is limited to the IQ of the person, the user.
But yeah, see the so AI is a very stochastic model. When I say stochastic model, what I mean by that is that it is not deterministic. When you ask it a question, it generates an answer. But that generation process is a stochastic process. It is generating each word one by one. And generation of each word itself is also a stochastic process. It is sampling from a probability distribution, which is governed by what is the most likely word that is going to come next, right? So when you say it is raining cats, the next word is going to be end. And after that, the next word is going to be dogs. But that's a very easy example where the certainty of the next word is pretty heavy. But now what I would say next is not that deterministic. You see, at every step of the time, I could have said something quite different.
Yeah,
And that is what is happening in this process. So these models are stochastic models. They are not guaranteed to give you the same result every time you ask them the same question. They are likely to give you different answers. They're likely to give you correct answers, but not necessary. And that is what is known as the problem of hallucination. So these
yeah,
models are going to hallucinate a lot. Okay. They are going to cook up some data, which may not be correct at all. So that's a big problem. How would you know what it said is correct or not? So, as a user of AI, it becomes your responsibility to verify what it is saying. The another problem that so that is the reason, right? Like, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
So the question is, how often does AI get it wrong? Or how often does
So this is
hallucination?
this problem is actually getting. So this is not a new problem. Like people have known about LLMs hallucinating for last 4 years, and the amount of hallucinations have gone low and low with time. There is a huge amount of research effort happening all across the globe where people are trying to detect these hallucinations, reduce these hallucinations, and at present the the camp is divided. There are a set of people, and these people are in minority who believe that it will never go away.
Yeah,
There will be always cases of hallucinations with these Gen AI technology, and the large amount of people actually believe that it will go away in a few months to a couple of years' time. But inherently, these models so far have been very stochastic. As far as Shivich, like it's not very often hallucinating now. Very good models
yeah,
like GPT-5,
yeah.
um, but they do still hallucinate. The other thing which is very strange with these models right now is that, in fact, there are many peculiar things about these models. They tend to agree with you a lot more. They
Yeah,
are likely to agree with you what you say.
yeah,
So it's kind of when you interact with these models, they are going to be self-fulfilling. So if you have a particular view of world, you are going to reinforce that more and more. So, and like you ask them anything, they are more likely to agree with you than not agree. So that kind of creates a bias of its own kind and a problem of its own kind. And those are the reasons why people who are using AI, it depends on them how well they are able to utilize it.
right. Very interesting. So, with these two very wonderful examples, and one is hallucination and this agreement bias,
Mhm.
or self-reinforcing, positive reinforcement bias that the AI keeps on doing. What is the message for educators? Because India has 25 crore students in schools.
Yeah.
right?
I think the biggest problem is, at least, I'm very well aware of what AI is, what its capabilities are, what its weaknesses are. And
Yeah.
I could assume and I could guess the kind of things that would be happening in the education today, right, when you give assignments to students and kind of things that happen, right? I think the first thing that we need to see, there is no question that AI could be enormously useful in your learning. That is beyond doubt. It can happen. That would happen. And that should be happening. And we should discuss more and see what are the best ways of utilizing this technology in making things easier and making the journey of learning more enriching for everybody. So that's one point of thing. The other point of is that how would you, like, it's like, and again, there are again, I'm trying to kind of draw parallels from the history. I'm sure when calculator would have come, people
Yes.
thought very similarly. Who will learn now addition and subtraction? What's the use of learning any of that stuff? You can just press buttons and get the answer. But we still have the custom
Yeah.
of, and we have the entire curriculum of, teaching kids of, how to calculate, and for a huge amount of their life they are just going to do that and learn it, right? They could always, like, it seems useless, why are they learning all these multiplication and division when you can just do the calculator? It's the same argument that why you are trying to learn to how to write these essays and these emails and these poems and these kind of physics and chemistry rules, and which you can just get at the press of a few buttons. So I sometimes feel that it's, but I think what happens that your learning, the level of learning improves. So the critical thinking, right? So that's what happens with calculator and those kind of things, that you could actually get yourself rid of from the very repetitive task and kind of do more critical thinking kind of things, and spend time more on those kind of things. I am hopeful that a similar kind of things happen with the advent of, and with the adoption of AI, and those kind of things, that our level of learning kind of improves even more, deeper thinking and critical thinking side of things. Right. But I think as far as the message for the educator is concerned, I think we need to have a lot of, and this is not something that can happen in like 10 minutes and 15 minutes, but we need discussions on two fronts. We need discussions to establish the right way to adopt AI, to introduce AI and to utilize it in its full potential in educating our students. And two, how would we sensitize people, and how will we enforce our students to not be using or abusing the power of AI and in the process not learn anything? That's a much bigger worry I have. That if you so again, there are ways, right? Like, of course, you should probably promote use of AI in a very ethical manner, and you should craft your assignments in a way that they are AI proof. Like, you could just, for example, as an example, and then more thought and more discussion is needed about them, that you could ask on how whatever answer you came up with is going to be different, or is different than what you are getting from AI. What are the kind of biases that you see from the AI response? And like, so you need to kind of be more creative in the way you formulate your assignments. And again, the class assignments is, of course, not is a place where you can always have more emphasis on which kind of give incentives to kids, to students to actually learn. Just giving home assignment is, of course, not going to work. So yeah, so I think those two fronts. One is what are the best way to adopt AI in learning, and the other is how do you structure your learning that people don't abuse AI, and actually use it in the right way and don't misuse it, whereby not learning anything.
Interesting. Very interesting. So come back to the two things that you said, how to introduce AI, because that really caught my attention and that was the right hook. And I'm sure it is a hook for many teachers out here. Any quick thoughts? So how would, let's say,
Mhm.
IBM research introduce AI to the larger IBM community? What could be the models or processes that
So
you
actually,
use?
the IBM perspective is actually quite different than
Yeah.
I think what an educator would have, because IBM's perspective is more to kind of educate people who are not familiar with AI to be more familiar with AI, right? And be making them more capable and enable them to use AI in the kind of things that they do, right?
Yeah.
So that's a different goal. That's a goal which does not have this problem of how do you incentivize students to learn better, right? Even when they can actually do short circuits with AI. So, so I think from the education perspective, I think what we need to do is um, see, students will use AI anyway, right? So we need to actually openly, discuss its role. We need to frame that this is a tool to assist your learning rather than just shortcut to answers. So in fact it would be good even for assignments to be, okay, here is things that you need to go, but you kind of not only show me the final answer, but you need to actually show me how did you reach here, right? Like what has been the thought process to reach here. So we need to kind of define those things in that way. Then the other thing is also, which is more on the kind of making sure that everybody has access to the right set of models, right? These models themselves have a lot of biases, right? In fact, there is a lot of bias in the models that you will get from, let's say, the models coming from China, then models coming from US, then models coming from France. In fact, for the same historical question, you might get different answers, and they represent different perspective and different biases that come from those cultures. So right, it is true that students are going to use AI. So I think we need to normalize it, and we also need to enable our students to actually be using the right models so that they are not biased in the wrong way, right? Or in the way we want them to be actually aligned with in certain way. So right, the right models are being used and they are available, right? So it doesn't create a big divide, right? There are students who do not have access to the best models, and therefore they kind of lag behind, right? So that's another thing that we need to be worrying about, that it doesn't create another divide in our country. Right. So I think those are some of the things that comes to mind. Um, yeah.
Very interesting. So, if anyone wants to ask any question from Mr. Sachin Joshi of IBM Research, uh, you can. Please, you can raise your virtual hand and then you can ask question. Uh, Sachin, you raised, yeah, Nivedita Nathani want to ask question? Okay, right. So, Sachin,
Yes, sorry, sir, by mistake.
okay, that's fine. So, Sachin, you asked a very good, you raised a very pertinent point, right? What model to use?
Mm-hmm.
How do we know? Because there's this Chat GPT-5, you have Claude, you have Gemini, you have DeepSeek, you have Perplexity, and if you go to Perplexity, it gives you a whole lot of models to choose from, R3, R4, and it's changing so fast.
Mm-hmm.
How to decide?
So I guess see, these different models have different compute costs, right?
Yeah.
Some models require enormous amount of this compute, and therefore they are a lot more expensive than some other models. These models also differ in their inherent capabilities, that some models are very good at coding, some models are very good at images, some models are very good at reasoning kind of tasks, some models are very good at knowledge kind of work. So I think the assessment of which model to use is actually a function of the kind of task that you have at your hand and the kind of resources or money that you are ready to pay for it. Right. So these are the two variables, or these are the two deciding factors. Now, from an education perspective, right? Again, I think as part of education, we have a lot of reasoning and a lot of more than reasoning, a lot of knowledge kind of work, right? Like we have so many things, like all the subjects, right? So the models which are better for teaching, and also we don't want them to be extremely expensive, right? So they should be not a model which are in billions, hundreds of billions of parameters. So again, I don't think we have a model from India at this point. We have some variants of them. Sarvam, Bharajan is coming up with some other models, but these are much smaller models at this point of time. There are public open source models like Llama from Meta.
Yeah.
But again, they need to be hosted somewhere. They need to be deployed somewhere. You don't have a API like a GPT today that you can just go and connect and get your answers. So somebody needs to host them probably. Um, so I think it's a complex question, but I would say that the space of answer that exists today, we don't have anything from India. And we don't want to use something very expensive because it's unnecessary. And it also depends on the kind of task that we want to do. So if you want to do coding, Claude is the best. Like again, it's my opinion. It's not right that it is the case really. If you're doing any reasoning related thing, then GPT is pretty good. But again, these are expensive affairs, right? You could do much cheaper with something like Llama, right? So again, a very long answer and not a very crisp answer, because it's very hard to give a crisp answer on this. But yeah, I
Fair
don't.
enough. Yeah, fair enough, Sachin. I think you give the flavor,
Mhm.
and one you have time, or it's already
Yeah, I
5.
can go for another 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So so let's say I'm a class 11th physics teacher,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
And I'm assuming that we all assume, right? We all assume that everyone has access to the free version of ChatGPT because it's free and it's available, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And I, as a teacher, what I do is I upload the entire NCERT text
Hmm.
into my own personal folder of GPT,
Okay.
at GPT, right? Is that good enough to make it
You
good
don't,
in?
Shivich, you don't need to upload anything.
Yeah,
You can just ask case,
yeah,
give me a summary of ISC class 12, chapter 5 physics. It will give you that.
obviously. Yeah,
It will give you that. You don't have to upload anything. It knows
yeah,
ISC class 12, chapter 5, what it is. So, but I think, that's something that everybody here present could do,
yeah,
is the following. Uh, Chat GPT is an amazing teacher. It is an amazing teacher, but only if you already know what to ask and how to ask, which students don't. Students don't know what to ask. Students don't know how to. But as a teacher, you already know everything. But you could gather from interacting with Gen AI like GPT a very easy way of introducing very complex concept to your students. So that's something that students won't be able to do a good job of. As I said, it depends on who is using this technology, of how good the output you can get from it. So teachers themselves can use Gen AI to get the really right way of putting complex concepts, which will be complex for kids and students, in a very easy manner. I would really recommend everybody to do it once, and you will see,
yeah,
because I do it routinely.
yeah,
Right, we as part of our job, we kind of read research papers. I read a lot of research papers every day, and I come across some equation somewhere which I am not familiar with. I will go and I will just get myself understand that entire thing in a matter of just a few minutes in such a nice manner. So
yeah,
it is amazingly simplifying things. if you
Right.
ask it exactly how to ask what you want to ask. So you could use it to improve your own teaching skill to an enormous amount. So that's something that you could surely very easily do, and I will highly recommend it. You will really like it.
Right. So it's basically what you're saying is use the interface of ChatGPT, interact more, engage more, do your own small experiments, and figure out, how to simplify or how to make classroom more engaging, or
Yeah, yeah,
or simplify the concepts which can be, a complex stuff. For example, theory of relativity,
yeah,
right? And how do I sort of bring that in a classroom in an easy manner? And
yeah,
ChatGPT can keep on giving you few cues or clues and say, do this, try this out, and then you sort of do back and forth, and then sort of
yeah,
present it or use those learnings or strategies to present the or design your lecture, right?
yeah.
Something like that sort, right? We have Shamsri Basu raising hand. Shamsri, can you unmute and ask your question?
Yeah, actually, I didn't get what was that. Something Gemini or something he said. I did not understand that. The best teacher that he was saying. Is it any app he was talking about?
No,
Oh, no. Yeah.
Gemini is a model, right? Gemini is another
Acha, it is
Gemini is another model from Google, but
okay. Acha.
yeah, but I think you could just use GPT itself or Gemini also, which is also freely available. A version of it is freely available. Yeah,
Okay, so you were talking about some model that
yeah,
best teacher. That's what you said.
yeah.
That okay.
So,
Acha.
so Shamashri, what Sachin has been saying is for
Huh.
different things, there are plethora of models out there, and a lot of them are also free, right? So there is Mistral,
Okay.
there's Claude, there's Gemini, there is Perplexity, there is DeepSeek, there is ChatGPT, there's Copilot, and there are multiple of those, right? Now, for different things, there are different models which perform some different tasks better. So if there's a reasoning-based task, so GPT does that, GPT-5 does that task really well, right? Now, there could be some model which could be doing mathematical stuff better, right?
Okay.
So, or some model which could be doing visual stuff better. So, but there are different models for different things, and you really have to go there, explore, and see what fits your use case and your bill, right? So some models could be free, some models could be, paid, etc., etc., and that's what Sachin has been saying. Sachin, did I
Yeah,
say
yeah,
it right,
absolutely
or
correct.
did I confuse everyone?
No. I think this is exactly you put it right way. Yeah.
Thank you. One more question, Sachin. Sarojini Pandita has raised her hand. Sarojini, can you go and ask your question?
Uh, Good evening, sir. So my
Yeah.
question is that how much of private information can we share with these like AI tools?
So
So is it safe? And how much information can we share while working on these AI models?
So actually, that's a very right question. It's a very important question. In fact, you will be surprised how much private information people put on this. Enormous amount. They really don't care. They really don't care. They will put their Excel sheet of their salary slips. They will put whatever you want. Like people put everything. In fact, there was a report where there was some research article which said that people have put their insurance policies, government officials have put FIR copies, and all kind of things have been uploaded without any considerations of any kind of privacy, which is very very surprising. Um, Again, I think it's actually very so this is what is happening today. And it's not that this information is kind of a public information, right? Like the question of what should I put on my Instagram account is a different question than what can I put on my GPT interaction, because what you put on Instagram account or a Facebook account is kind of a public, or at least there is some space of it which is public. Here whatever you are sharing is actually only with those guys, right? So it's not, but again, that particular information is going to be used for training. So there is always a very remote possibility, very small possibility, but like it can get exposed because that data is being used for training itself, right? For training those models. So it's not that that data is going to be publicly available to anybody, but it's also not the case that those logs are available to anybody. At least like whatever somebody is putting on GPT, chat GPT interactions is not available to anybody outside OpenAI. But for OpenAI guys, of course, it's available to them, right? So sharing your personal information is always a very tricky thing, and it shouldn't be done, right? But that is what is happening today. People are just doing it, especially for students. So, but there are these, regulations like GDPR, and there are other AI regulations which at least Europeans are pretty ahead, and they have put that you cannot, and even if there are some data that has been shared, there are regulations of recalling them and so on and so forth that the users have. Now in India, we don't have those things. Highly discouraging. It should be highly discouraged that people share any private data with these these models. Yeah, but at this point of time, I'm very surprised with all the kind of information people actually share with ChatGPT and alike.
Sure, Sachin. So thanks for your time and thanks for bringing, or at least opening the dialogue and bringing the topic for all the educators out here. Uh, Thank you.
Yeah, I would have loved to stay more, but I'm actually I need to go somewhere, so I need to drop now.
Right. Yeah. But thank you very much, and great to have you. And we'll have I have a few more questions right now, saying that people want more advanced use cases, and it was just a beginning to all
Yeah,
our friends. Right? We'll have more such dialogues, and we'll continue this dialogue around AI because that's where the world is moving.
Yeah.
I will be now spending about 15 minutes with all of you. But Sachin, thanks for your time, and lovely to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not able to get out now.
You're not able to get out?
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that fine? Right. Okay, friends. So, Sachin is a distinguished engineer at IBM Research, and he spent some time to demystify the subject. I come to the next part, and I'll take about 15 minutes. I'll be, many of you would know me. I'll be glad if you can switch on your camera. And before I want to proceed, I have a very short poll which I'm launching. So my poll goes live, and you can, it is visible on your screen. There are 9 simple questions, and if you can put your answers, it would be great. Right? The first question is, do you think AI can make teachers' job easier, more difficult? Right? I've got first response. Thank you. But can I ask everyone else to be joining the poll? And if you scroll down, you will keep scrolling down, and you can you can interact with all the 9 questions. Right? Can I request everyone to take the poll on the screen? So far, only 3 people have participated. Friends, can I request everyone to take the poll? Yeah. Bindu Sangwan, you can't see it on the screen. I'm not sure whether you're accessing from mobile. If you click on the button, I'm on the laptop. Your job easier or more difficult, you can use the chat window and put your response. That's my first question. Do you think AI can make your job easier or more difficult? Yes, thank you, Manish. Okay, that's my first question. My second question, which is coming on, how frequently do you use AI applications? Daily, very frequently, daily, sometimes, weekly, fortnightly, rarely, whatever is your response, if you can put, how frequently do you use AI application, right? So thank you, Savita, Manish, daily, very frequently. Okay. Every day, thank you, Revati. So thanks very much. Then my third question is, what AI tools have you used? If you can list few AI tools that you use, it would be great. Just put the names of the AI tools that you are using. That would be fantastic. Revati is saying Copilot. Great. Copilot. Okay. Quillbot. I got one Quillbot. Anyone using Khan Migo? Khan Academy's AI? That would be interesting. My fourth question is, and I want your great indulgence here. For what use case have you been using AI? Right? Where are you using AI? Lesson plans, grading and assessment, generating quizzes and worksheets, doing personalized feedbacks, language translation, admin tasks, something else. Right? So I will come. Thank you. Programming, I can see question paper, lesson plan, fantastic. My next question is, what percentage of your students are using AI? Nearly all, many, some, few, not sure, right? So what percentage of your students are using AI? Fantastic. Now, my next question is, what is your biggest concern when it comes to use of AI in classroom? What is your biggest concern, right, when it comes to use of AI in classroom? Cheating, academic dishonesty, privacy, data security, dehumanized learning, that's another interesting bias algorithms, something that Sachin really spoke about right now. Diminished critical thinking, access, lack of clear guidelines, etc. Okay, my next question is, if a student uses AI to write their homework without telling the teacher, is it cheating? It's a good use of technology? Not sure, depends on the context. Okay, so how comfortable actually are you allowing your students to use, right? Okay, so these are the questions basically that I have, my last question is, in your view, what skills or values are most important to students, right, to learn about AI? So critical thinking, data literacy, AI ethics, innovation, collaboration, understanding of AI impact, basic coding, etc. Right? So I think a lot of people have taken the poll. 40 people out of 75, they have taken the poll, who is 41. Okay, I'll wait for another 15 seconds before I end the poll. Great. Right, friends, in a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be sharing my screen first before I sort of come to share the results of poll. I have a very short deck which I want to very short deck which I want to share. I'll take only 5 more minutes to complete what I have to speak. So here goes my screen. I hope you can see. Is my screen visible, friends? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you. So
Yes, sir.
Right.
yeah.
Sure.
So this is basically AI in education, and this is something which I created very quickly today. And I really want to talk about few things. Just give me a sec. Why is it not moving? Yeah. Okay. So the first thing is I already did all the 4 questions. Is AI making teachers' job easier or difficult? And you have responded. A lot of you have said easier. So that's a good thing. We all believe AI is making our lives easier. Sometimes it can make life difficult. How frequently you use? A lot of you said daily, right? Is someone using every hour? here, and someone like me, I'm using AI every hour. So I'm a sort of a power user using multiple tools. And what all tools are you using other than ChatGPT? That's something which is, anyone who's using any other tool other than ChatGPT, other than the language learning models. Anyone who's using anything other than language learning model, you can just speak. Anyone who's using anything other than language learning model?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
I am using Canva and InVideo to create the videos or the we can say lessons for my students.
fantastic. And can I see your name? I'm not able to see you because my full screen is on. What's your
So
name?
my name is Sumant Bishnoi.
Yeah, Suman. And where are you from, Suman?
I am from Abohar, Punjab.
Fantastic. Which school?
Thank you, sir.
Which school?
Sir, Delhi Public School, Abohar.
Fantastic. Right. So Sumant is using Canva and Sumant is using InVideo. So those sort of so for visual, and you are creating some sort of a visual content, Sumant.
Yes, sir.
And
I just give them I just at InVideo, I just give the prompt, and from the prompt, I get the video.
fantastic. So in my chat, I can actually see number of different tools, but most of them are LLMs. But I'm able to see some non-LLM lobe. Revati Gangahar, would you like to quickly help us what you are using? Okay, can't see Revati. Okay, Jyoti Sharma, Runway. Jyoti.
Good evening, sir. Udly is a very good platform for like interview preparations. I generally refer it to my students as well, those who have little fear of it. And yes, we do have many PowerPoint making platforms, and Runway ML. Everyone knows, like we can add animation to the real picture, and we can also create videos. So these are a few tools that I use and suggest to my students as well.
Fantastic. And anyone who is using website making tools?
Website making, sir, I guess the platforms already like Wix or something, they have integrated the AI tools within them, but I haven't find them much useful right now, with the one which is very good. Yes,
Okay.
all are in development phase maybe.
I've been using multiple tools, and there are tools as powerful as that where you can create a nice, simple app. You have to really be very good with your instructions.
Figma?
And
Figma is one, sir.
Is a visual, it's a visual tool, but not really a
It's
full.
the only visual. Yes, sir.
It's a visualization tool, right? So there are multiple stuff which is already there. I really wanted anyone who wants to quickly share a very unique example where you're using, you think it's a unique example where you're using AI. Quickly, I can take from one or two people. Anyone who wants to go ahead and say that this is what I'm using AI for? Other than making quizzes, and are you using AI for evaluation of answers? Anyone who's been doing this? Not yet. Okay, interesting, right? And life becomes simpler. Thank you, Pravina. So you are using, and great. So life becomes simpler, and evaluation is something that consumes a lot of time of the teacher. And more importantly, evaluation leading to personalized feedback. Anyone who's using AI for personalized feedback to student. So for example, there are two students, A and B. A has solved a problem, let's say a Pythagoras, or let's say a trigonometry problem in a particular manner, and B has solved differently, and both have committed mistakes. Now, your job is to tell to A that you have committed mistake here, and to B you have committed mistake here, right? Now, a good AI tool, and if you have trained it well, it will give personalized feedback. Okay, you did step 1, 2 correct, but at step 3, you did this silly mistake, right? So something of that sort really helps students. So that's how AI, that's how powerful AI is, right? one of the things that I believe which is possible about AI in education is a lot of us are using it for content generation. This is what our expert speaker said. We can demystify or simplify a complex content and run it out in the classroom such that everyone gets a level playing field. A lot of content can be complex for a 12-year-old, right? Sometimes in classroom, we bring in a content which is actually right for 14-year-old, but it is brought for the age group 12. And we don't know, right? So someone like me who's doing curriculum design in my own wishful thinking, think that, okay, this is good for class 12, this is good for grade 6, but actually that's good only for grade 8. But curriculum designers, because of the quirkiness, they superimpose learnings on different age groups. Now, as a good teacher, what I recommend is you can simplify that concept to age appropriate audience, right? And that really makes classroom better, and you can start seeing improvement in performance. The second use case which is there is about personalization and adaptive learning. So in class, you know that there are some students who are fast learners and some students who are slow learners, and you need to bring concepts even for slow learners, and you also need to hold on the attention of fast learners. Now, AI tool or a AI enabled classroom is able to do so, right? There's also something called adaptive learning. I'm not sure how many of you have used Duolingo by any chance. Anyone who's used Duolingo here?
Yes, sir.
Right, and you have seen the power of you have seen the adaptive power of Duolingo. An adaptive, simple adaptive, how many of you are actually creating adaptive MCQs? You know what I mean? Anyone who understand what I'm saying? Adaptive MCQ? Okay, so the way you can do this is you can say that everyone is at a particular average level in the class, and then you have a question which is little higher order than average. Now, if someone who is able to solve that higher order question, he gets a more higher order question. If someone is not able to solve this question, then they get a lower order question, and that's how you slowly adapt, the learning for everyone inside the classroom. Now, basically, if you explore these keywords, you can start creating lessons which are more useful, right? So that's another thought that I have. Then a lot of thing about feedback, and then a lot of admin stuff, right? So exams and all that. Right. AI beyond Gen AI, we really looked at someone who's doing videos, someone, have you used AI beyond Gen AI? Anyone? AI beyond Gen AI? Anyone who wants to speak? AI beyond Gen AI? And I'm going to give you something very nice, not very nice. All of you know this, but this session that we are doing, you will get an AI summary of this, because the Zoom tool or the Google tool, etc., they have become smart enough and they're able to listen to my speech, and then they're able to convert that speech into text. And not only that, they can generate a summary of this session. Are you using any of those tools? Anyone who's using otter.ai? Friends?
Sir, I have used Notebook LM.
Notebook, right? Fantastic. So there are a variety of tools which are already available beyond LLMs, right? So that's what I wanted to share. Yeah. The real challenge as teacher, what we are thinking is for a student, content is available at command, but But the challenge is critical thinking. I park my brain outside and I'm saying, okay, generate this content. And I generate that content and take to the classroom, Control C, Control V. And in the process, I start losing critical thinking, right? But how do we build critical thinking in the age of AI? How do we build? Everyone's saying critical thinking chala jata hai. There's no critical thinking out there, or it's going down, it's diminishing. How do we build critical thinking? Right now, Sachin Joshi talked about creating AI, a homework which is still process oriented. How did you get to an answer? That sort of homework and that sort of stuff, or those sort of discussion can improve critical thinking. By the way, in the age of AI, more than answers, it is the ability to ask right question that will determine the success of a person, right? So the art of questioning, and that's something we need to impart in the classroom, right? So far, there was a premium on giving good answers, but that world is changing very fast. If students are not able to ask good question to this black box, then they will never get answers. AI will generate answers, but the real thing is ask good questions, ask great questions, right? So that's something that I wanted to bring to your attention. Anyone who wants to add anything on critical thinking? Friends? Okay, so there are ethical considerations, and there are three basic ethical considerations. First is all around bias. So AI will give you a biased answer. All white men are great, right? This is what all English Western education has really taught, right? If you are dark, if you're a woman, then you're not great, right? So bias. And that's the kind of literature, if it has gone more into the AI system, you will have biases. Or for example, Sachin right now talked about if you are using DeepSeek, for example, it will have a different bias. If you are using ChatGPT, it will have a different bias, right? There are concerns around privacy, and those are valid concerns. If you are doing any stuff which is higher on intellectual property, then you really have to put all the safety nets and checks into place, because anything that you are putting and giving into the AI system unguarded and on a free AI system, every data is being used to train the AI model, and then AI can do something better than whatever you have done, because it's machine, right? So machine in a self-learning mode, it can outperform human being. It has a lot of computing power which is going. So privacy is a valid concern, and this whole thing around integrity, right? Am I copying? Am I cheating? Whose data is it? How am I using, etc., etc., right? So those are the ethical considerations, and we as teachers, we really have to bring those things in the class. Now, my last question, and I am leaving this open for all of you. Imagine a new classroom. Imagine the classroom of 2030, or imagine the classroom of 2028. How is it going to look like? Anyone wants to go? Shamasri, how do you think is the classroom of 2028 going to look like? It's 3 years only.
Yeah, actually, I think nothing but AI has come actually, but to me, human intelligence, AI can never surpass human intelligence. And since I am teaching in primary level, so for me, this consideration that students using AI at this foundational stage, I don't support much. So I feel that we were talking about critical thinking and all. So that is that will be degenerated. So that's what I feel. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe for
Sarojini,
the higher
Pandit,
classes.
you want to add something? And Poonam Vadera, you want to add few things? Poonam Vadera, you want to add something? The new classroom? Manish Gupta, Rohit? Anyone wants to have a go? How does the classroom look like in 2028?
Can I add one point, sir?
Please, I can't see you, but if you can, sure. Yes, Sivan Raj.
Yes, sir. Some of the classroom actually nowadays only one smart classroom will be there. Hopefully, in coming years, all the classroom will be smart. Number one, and that another one point actually nowadays actually students are using writing notes. Instead of that, they are going to scan the board, and automatically that is going to come to their notes. So they are not going to write anything.
Yeah.
Then number three, their table is also going to attach with the board. So if they want to answer, they no need to raise their hands and no need to stand. So directly they can answer in the table. So that will come to the display board so everyone can see. Hopefully these changes are going to come.
Right. So
in the upcoming class.
Thank you, Sivan Raj, for a great answer. Molly Matthew, you want to add something? More technology, more, Molly? If you can unmute and say what you want to say.
I think, sir, there will be like more technology in the classroom, and the teacher's job will be more responsible as a guide.
Yeah.
That they will drive the students towards what they are supposed to do, and then I think it will be more responsible, though might not be physically more, but mentally it will be more challenging for teachers, because they will be analyzing the work of all the students, and I think it will more responsibility on the part of teacher.
Right. So more responsible. I think it's a different responsibility, perhaps, right? The way we are going to look at or engage in classroom, that has to change. In fact, the way we are interacting with machine, with ChatGPT, you know, that has to change. Instead of this as a question and answer tool, it becomes a conversational or discussion tool, right? And those sort of changes are there, which is right at the horizon. And then something like Sivan said, that technology becomes available at the desk. Whatever I have to write, I write, or what I speak, and writing becomes all the more less redundant. And thinking still has power. Then crystallized thinking it goes to the teacher, and those sort of stuff, right? And some of these things are already reality. I'm not sure whether you are watching some of the videos which is going on about China or Finland. These are two different models, right? Finland is doing completely different, less of technology, more of human engagement. And then China has got something like more of technology, because they have to grow at a very fast pace, and they are bringing AI in classroom at a very rapid pace. Now, any large economy will have to introduce a lot of AI and AI-enabled stuff in the classroom, right? Something of that sort is going to happen. Khan Academy has tried, and they had some hiccups, but I think in the next 2 years or 3, a lot of these hiccups are going to vanish, because AI is coming at a very fast rate, right? So my last question to all of you, a very open-ended question, which is there on the screen. I hope my screen is visible to you. Is it visible? Quick thumbs up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So how is the world of careers changing? Any quick response? How is the world of careers changing?
I think more jobs will be for those who create AI and who drive AI, rather than minimum menial jobs, which usually like clerical jobs and all those will be taken care of AI, but the higher end jobs, they will be available.
Fantastic. So that's very interesting. Roy, you want to add something? How is the world of career changing?
Yes, good evening, sir. I think like creative skills, students who have creative skills will get opportunity for work. I mean, the career options will be very different.
Yeah.
And yes, so I think students who have creativity they will always have a scope. So,
Okay,
and
very interesting.
certain other skills we constantly should try to, inculcate in them rather than telling them to pursue a particular job type, isn't it? So the job
Okay.
may change altogether.
Okay. Kirti Saxena, any quick thoughts? Anyone who wants to add? How's the world of careers changing? By the way, Shilpa, you want to add? Shilpa Hiramat?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. So first Shilpa, and then I heard one more voice. Yeah.
Should use it wisely while not giving away our, the creative thinking to the AI.
Yeah. Interesting. Sumant, you want to add?
Yes, sir. According to me, sir, in future jobs will be more preferred the person who is using AI, who is adapting with the AI, rather than the person who is not using the AI.
Right. So it's like Microsoft Excel, right? Today, everyone wants you to be very good at Microsoft Excel, and tomorrow, everyone will want you to be very good with AI. But the reality is, I'm not sure how many of you are following something called World Economic Forum or any of the leading thinkers. They are saying 50%, two-thirds of the job roles that we see today, job roles, right? So let's say a teacher, uh, consultant, bank, desk person, etc. 66% of the today's job role is going to vanish by 2030. And a completely new set of job roles are there in the horizon, and those things are there, right? Uh, and why I'm saying this, because our next masterclass is is about the future of careers. Is that of interest to you? Future of careers? Yes, no? If you can
Yes,
just say yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes.
And why it's also important for your students, because one of the one of the big okay, so let me share this thing, and I'll elaborate more in the next session. One of the research today is saying that there is going to be massive job losses because of AI. So today, AI is able to perform surgery, right? AI is able to perform heart surgery, right? So it's not the surgeon who's doing, it's the AI machine, the AI robotics, which is doing the entire opening of heart, stitching, clearing off, if there is a blockage and everything, and then sealing it away and all that, right? So this is all now possible, right? AI is driving taxis already, right? So what people are now able to see is there is going to be massive job loss, and a new sort of job economy is going to get created. So that's something that I'm going to talk about in my next session. Now, before I close, if you have any questions, I can take some of the questions. We can have some open-ended discussion, and then we sort of come to a closure. Any quick question? Anything that you want to
Yes,
bring?
sir. I'm Sutapa from Bangalore. Regarding your last question, how is the world of careers changing? So I was thinking that when my student grade 12 pass out, he or she, they're very confused what to choose.
Yeah.
After 4 years, engineering might not be valid. So like everyone is thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are still pushing our children to study computer science, and the world of coding has changed, right? As Sachin said, 30% of the code generated today is all generated by AI. Okay, and it's going to get more and more. So it's not just computer science is not just about coding something, a bank application. Computer science will also be in systems engineer and doing hardware engineering and those sort of stuff. So a lot of change is there on the anvil, and it's more important that we bring career readiness programs for our students. I'm not sure whether it's resonating for you, but next session when we discuss, I think I'm going to talk more about that. But does it resonate what I said right now?
Yes, sir. It is very much needed because as educators, we are really confused. We don't have a proper answer. What is coming ahead in next 4 to 5 years?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. I had a query. This is Kirti Saxena from Ghaziabad.
Yes,
Sir,
madam.
I just wanted to know, like, should, as an educator, as a facilitator, should we encourage or should we discourage use of AI with the students? Because until and unless the examination pattern is framed as per AI, how can we motivate students to use AI? Because class way they are using AI, home they are using AI, but when they are in the examination hall, then what about their critical thinking?
No, fair enough. And it's a great question, but I have a different answer, ma'am. Right. And my answer is fairly simple. The ultimate laboratory is the laboratory of life. Right. And our job is to prepare students, A, to do well in exams, but more importantly, do well in life. And in that sense, I will never deny anyone using AI. Right. Uh, we are extensively advocating, we are extensively creating problems, assignments, etc., where people can use AI, but then they are not going to get clear-cut answer on AI. What they are going to do is to use AI as a good friend, as an encyclopedia. But again, on AI, they will have to do a lot of back and forth to come to some sort of a good answer, right? Not all subjects you can do. Some subjects are very deterministic, some subjects are very step by step stuff, but again you can still think and create problems such that people become smarter at using AI. Anyway, they are using AI, by the way, right? Anyone today, are you aware that Perplexity is fully free on Airtel mobile phone, the 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 power user version, not the free version. Okay. So kids are already using. It's just that we have to guide them, provide the right nudges to use it in the right manner.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Any other question? So here it is. We are running AI boot camps for students. We are also running AI boot camps for teachers. If any one of you are
Sir,
interested.
according to me, let them.
Yeah, please complete.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Sir,
Who can I?
according to me, a student will use AI, but we need to make sure that the logic behind the question, whatever the question or whatever the task we are giving to the students, they are completing it by using AI, but they need to be known about the logic. What is the logic behind that solution? If they know the logic, then it's okay if they are using the AI.
Absolutely. Right. And the real challenge today we face is paucity of time. So if you have a class which has, let's say, 35 students, from every kid, we have to ask, what steps did you take to reach to this answer? Right. But what AI as a tool does, it's able to quickly evaluate and then help you through with the process. By the way, are you using any of the, what is that tool called? That plagiarism checker tools?
Yes, sir. We are using to check the content of the child that he or she is submitting.
To check the content, right? And what tool are you using for plagiarism checker? So there are many tools out there, right? The easiest tool is you can put the answer into a tool which will say how much of the content has been generated by AI if a submission has been made. So Quillbot, right? And there are many, right? So how much of the content is generated using AI, right? And keeps on assigning you a score. Someone will say 60%, it'll give you a red score, it will give you a orange score, it will give you a green score. If it's less than 33, then it's happy. It says that, okay, it's students' original content, right? So there are plenty of tools out there. It's just that as teacher, we really have to plan and start making our standardized set of tools, right? So those are the stuff that we work with teachers to make them more AI, more ready for AI enabled world and teaching in classroom. For students, we obviously run a very different AI boot camp and those sort of stuff. Any last question, then we can close.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So there has been lots of talk about AI in recent 2 years, maybe. But sir, we as a teachers are not provided with any tool that we are just mentioning certain names like few here and there that yes, this can be used, this can be used, but we agree that AI is a tool that can make our tedious work easier, and it can be used as an assistant used to perform the repetitive work. But still sir, there is a gap, because from last 2 years only the talk is there, but how it is going to help us exactly, the hands-on, the implementation, I think that bridge is needed to be filled.
So we have done few workshops in few schools on how it's going to help. So we have done some of those workshops in a few of the schools. The best way, by the way, is to go to AI and ask that question, Jyoti, what you right now said, right? And take one of those examples and put it into implementation.
Right, sir. But whatever tool we start using it, after some time it becomes paid work. For the educators, I guess list of few free tools should be made available. After some time, the tool becomes popular, then we'll have to pay to use it, and so that is also a problem.
I agree, and yeah, I think institutionally, the institutions should commit to maybe one or two generic tool, let's say a ChatGPT or something of that, right, of that sort. By the way, a lot of tools are ChatGPT 5 today is free, by the way. A lot of it, right? Only when you go to a very extreme high power use, then it becomes paid, right? And ultimately, they will create a model through which they have to generate, money to survive, right? So, and we will have to end up paying, right? So, if we wanted to have an encyclopedia, the library would buy it, and then we would, as teachers, would use it, right? So, similarly, for a knowledge tool, the institutions have to make commitment to invest on those. Institutionally.
Thank you. Get it, sir.
Yeah. Any last question, or we call it a day? Thank you so much for joining this. Very soon we'll circulate the link for the careers masterclass, and that's going to be exciting. The world is changing so fast that I just can't tell you, and AI is something that is the prime driver of change. It is the prime driver of change, right? It is once in a time moment in history. It is something like invention of fire, right? It's not even Google came here kind of moment. It's not any of those minor invention. It's a mega change that we are staring at, and we really have to get ready and be prepared, and also prepare our next generation for this change, right? With this, we close. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.